Okay, D-Lo 404 Boxing. Shout out to the LDBC. Shout out to Marlo's Corner Trades and the whole block fam. Go over there and subscribe to Marlo's Corner 2. Okay, also subscribe to my channel as well if you hadn't subscribed. All right, so over the weekend we saw Teofimo Lopez versus Richard Commey for Commey's IBF title. And what we saw was two fighters who were basically clicking on all cylinders coming into the fight. Both guys had been performing well leading up to the fight, other than Lopez having having some issues in his I think it was his last fight against the taller Asian fighter. He had his struggles, but ultimately, and I do believe that was the last fight prior. But ultimately, he got the job done. But that said, going into the fight, I personally was one of those people who picked Commey. I felt like he would be able to use his jab and range, and use his reach and be able to stay out of harm's way from Lopez's big shots. And I also didn't know if Lopez actually had enough experience to figure out a guy like Commey and be able to get in there and land his big shot without getting countered with a big shot from Commey. But I will say, going in, I had some doubts. It was a hard fight for me to make a pick on. And, one thing that kept popping up in my head was Ndongo versus Terrence Crawford and Ndongo versus the boy Rougarou. And I kept thinking that, man, I hope Commey can do his job and don't mess around and get countered, and he can, basically, and I'm hoping this, because I've already picked Commey at this point. So I'm not going to go back on my pick. So I'm saying, well, I hope, in terms of me not having to eat crow and looking bad, that he can do those things. But and half my mind kept saying, and I verbalized this. I even talked about it before the fight on Marlo's Corner. But one thing, and also during the fight, and I kept saying that, I really think that he may be in danger of getting countered with a shot that's going to end the fight, because I really feel like Lopez had serious power, and of course that was validated when the fight played out. Commey did well in the first round, but you could tell Lopez was looking for something, and I kept thinking that, I hope Commey realizes that Lopez is trying to set something up, and he has the wherewithal to keep doing what he's doing, but also be alert and keep him at distance so that he's not able to land the shot he's looking for. Because Lopez was, while he was working, he also looked like he was not trying to waste a lot of energy on throwaway shots. It was like, I see something I want, and I'm going to work my way to get it. And once I see it, I'm putting everything into it. And basically that's what played out in that second round. He landed a hellacious shot that Commey never was able to recover from. And from that point on, it was pretty much downhill until the fight stopped. Much respect to Lopez. I look forward to, as always, I always look forward to watching a young man fight. I look forward to seeing what's next for him. I look forward to seeing what's next for Richard Commey as well. I know the Loma fight is supposed to be on tap for Lopez, so they can fight for, I guess now it's undisputed, being that, what's his name? Devin Haney got stripped, supposedly got stripped for being injured. I don't understand that whole situation, but that looks to be the case. So I hope that nothing comes up to stop the fight from happening with Loma. And I look forward to seeing how that fight plays out. It's a good, could be a crossroads type fight, who knows? But it's definitely a good fight between a young up-and-coming champion who looks like he has everything it takes to, to continue to ascend in the sport, versus a veteran who, maybe on his way. He looks like he's been on the decline, but also still has a lot of talent, a lot of gifts that can carry him to victory, and have done so in every fight, save for the fight against Salido. So it's, one of those things where, is it going to be the fighter who has the most experience and, especially in the higher level fights, or is it going to be the fighter who's, you know, whose trajectory is on the way up. It's very interesting, you know what I'm saying, and I look forward to it. I definitely, right now, lean toward Lopez, but I also just saw Lopez get an impressive knockout. So maybe a little further removed from the fight as it starts to get closer to the actual Loma versus Lopez fight, I'll probably have a better insight, better perspective. Well, I know I will, because I won't be emotionally attached to what I just saw a few days ago. So I look forward to what's happening next with these guys, and look forward to seeing these fights play out. But again, much respect to Teofimo Lopez. He took care of business in dramatic and emphatic fashion. It's D-Lo 404 Boxing. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.